across central Victoria. This is Win News.
Tonight, tributes for a kangaroo flat dad killed in a horror crash at Lockwood. Smiles as thousands of 3-year-olds begin their free kinder journey. And local restaurants and pubs count the cost of a worker shortage. Good evening and welcome to Win News this Monday. Also tonight, the alarming number of Aussies living with a disability unable to access NDIS support during the height of the pandemic. And to those stories in a moment. First tonight, a Bendigo man has been killed in a workplace incident at Bridgewater. Emergency services were called to Hay, Australia on the Calder Highway at 12:30. The air wing also attended, but the man died at the scene. WorkSafe is investigating. Tributes are flowing for 29-year-old John Bergman, who died in a car crash at the weekend. The kangaroo flat dad, who leaves behind his partner and 6-week-old baby, is being remembered as a loving man who enjoyed a laugh.
John Bergman's being remembered as a gentle giant. The 29-year-old kangaroo flat man who'd just become a father was killed in a crash in Lockwood on Saturday night.
He was unfortunately killed when his car impacted the rear of another car that was travelling in the same direction as him.
The driver of the other car was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
We're looking at whether the vehicle that was in front had slowed or braked to avoid wildlife potentially on the road, and we're also investigating as to whether or not the young fellow who passed away was actually wearing his seatbelt or not.
Emergency crews were also called to an accident on Napier Street in White Hills in the early hours of yesterday morning, where a pedestrian was hit by a tow truck while crossing the road.
They've actually collided with a passing vehicle, so they've actually walked into the side of a passing vehicle. We think the pedestrian may have misjudged the vehicle because it was towing a trailer.
He's in hospital in a stable condition. Shannon Schubert, Win News.
A man has been arrested after he fled when police attempted to execute a search warrant in Ironbark this morning. Officers attended an address in Victoria Street in relation to an ongoing investigation into recent burglaries in the Bendigo region. Specialist units, including the dog squad, helped track down the 45-year-old who was found in a nearby shed. He's currently helping police with inquiries. Thousands of 3-year-olds have started kinder today as the $5 billion initiative rolls out across the regions. Regional centres with high demand and the right infrastructure are among the first to offer the free early learning.
It was the first day of kinder for these eager 3-year-olds, but they weren't the only ones starting a new chapter. It was also Abby Parker's first day as the 3-year-old kinder teacher.
So the rollout of the 3-year-old funded kinder program has assisted me to pursue my passion of teaching, and I have been lucky enough to be a recipient of the government scholarship.
Around 2,000 children will benefit with funded 3-year-old kinder rolled out to 130 services in 15 regional areas.
We are also supporting free kinder for 2021 for all funded 3-year-old participating kindergartens for 3 and 4-year-old kinder.
It's the second year of the program, which will become available to kinders in every local government area next year, catering for 90,000 3-year-olds. Regional educators say 3-year-old kinder is crucial to build social skills and get kids ready for school.
Early years education is a critical time in their life, so from 0 to 6 it's the most important time for their learning, so it sets them up for their future and their imagination and their creativity. It all stems from early education.
The program won't be fully rolled out until 2029. Shannon Schubert, Win News.
A new tourism campaign is encouraging Aussies to travel domestically in 2021. The federal government wants locals to holiday here this year to help give the struggling tourism industry and small regional businesses a big boost.
The $5 million advertising campaign's encouraging Aussies to explore their own backyard this year. With many major events across regional Victoria recently cancelled, the tourism drive's a welcome push to attract more visitors.
A new initiative like this from Tourism Australia can only help to encourage people back out into the regions and help boost numbers while we're waiting for that event recovery.
While international travel remains off the cards, the federal government and Tourism Australia hope the campaign will support the struggling tourism industry and small businesses.
I don't know if we could ever recover what we've lost. It's such a huge amount that you probably could never get back, but we are really focused on moving forward.
Business experts hope the advertising blitz will kickstart an already strong visitor market.
The overwhelming majority of our visitation come from intrastate and interstate, so we're very strong on domestic tourism anyway.
Small business operators rely heavily on foot traffic and welcome any initiative to help them get back on their feet.
Because lockdown was so hard on everyone, I think people are really enjoying getting back out into the cafes and being able to sit down and catch up with friends.
Last year there were times where, we might have only had 2 people in a day, and now we're back up to our normal figures.
Bonnie Barkmeyer, Win News.
A lack of hospitality staff in Bendigo has forced a number of businesses to cut back hours and even takeaway services. Pub and restaurant owners say it's been tough keeping workers since the COVID-19 lockdown, and hopes the return of uni students will help.
It's dine-in only at Borcelli Italian restaurant, a shortage of staff forcing it to turn away customers and stop its takeaway service. Other venues agree it's been hard to find workers.
Looking forward, there hasn't been the interest or the inquiry that we'd normally expect and which we have in other years.
The Rifle Hotel was forced to shut today due to a lack of available chefs, the same reason it closed over Christmas. The owners of the expanding Hustler Burger Bar have also found chefs are a rare commodity.
It sort of seems they just up and vanished in the pandemic, so yeah, the pool is quite thin, so yeah, we just got to hold out and hope that person comes along.
But there are people out there wanting work. The burger bars received 55 applicants for other positions.
And then there's quite a few people around town who are just looking to get back into the workforce, so yeah, it's just a matter of finding the right person for our roles.
The sector's bracing for more university students returning to the region to fill some positions, but exactly how that looks is yet to be decided, creating further uncertainty for the hospitality industry. La Trobe says it plans to offer face-to-face classes in as many subjects in 2021 as it can, which would help those businesses needing casual work.
They obviously stay with us for 2 or 3 years during their course.
Will Hogan, Win News.
The federal government splashed nearly $2 billion on the rollout of the COVID vaccine. While the aim is still to start giving out the Pfizer jab to priority groups later this month, the PM today conceded the plans at the mercy of developments in Europe, backing the nation's capacity to manufacture enough vaccines onshore through CSL to cover the entire Aussie population by October.
The strategy is backed by an initial allocation of around $1.9 billion in new support for the vaccine rollout.
It brings the government's total spend on COVID vaccines and treatments to $6.3 billion over the past 12 months. Plans are underway to restore an historic CBD building to its former glory. Sheridan Homes has bought the 19th century structure on Pall Mall and plans to develop it into a regional hub to meet the growing housing boom.
A historic building masked by corrugated iron. But soon, Bendigo's Pikes Corner will undergo a facelift.
Our intention is for that to become our customer hub for Northern Victoria. The hub will consist of some offices, but also our colour room.
We've been advocating this for a long time, we, the Historical Society, but other people have been really ashamed at that corner.
It's hoped it will meet increased demand for housing across central Victoria.
It's the million-dollar question at the moment. We know anecdotally that land sales and demand for housing has probably quadrupled over the last 6 months.
It's a move that's hoped to create jobs and opportunities for local businesses.
That we make sure we work with local suppliers, local subcontractors, and ensure that we are a true local business in the Bendigo area.
Sheridan Homes is working with council to restore the original facade.
We're looking to remove all the hoarding from upstairs. We're hoping, with their approval, of course, that we can reinstate some of the verandas and the veranda posts.
Sheridan Homes is preparing plans for local council's approval and hopes to start work as soon as possible.
Pall Mall is terrific, and it'll be even better when that work is done.
Grace Aiken, Win News.
More stories after the break. A push for more resources in schools to improve student mental health, and the alarming number of Aussies with a disability unable to access NDIS support during the height of the pandemic.
Tonight, 14 teams are fired up for a challenge like no other. The season premiere of The Amazing Race Australia on Win.
To all the risk takers, we hope you never need us, but just in case you do, Latrobe Health Services is here for you. Accident-only hospital cover and extras for just over $3 a day. Latrobe Health Services, the health fund with heart.
Each day, around 1,000 people join Australia's best performing super fund. Why?
They've always worked hard to get me great returns.
It's Australian, it's super, and it's yours when you join today.
I'm home.
What'll it be tonight?
I just want a relaxing night on the couch. Perhaps something a little bit more irresistible. Not bad, but...
Rich cream, crunchy biscuit and luscious Tim Tam chocolate. Come home to the magic of a Tim Tam. What more could you wish for?
Get more of what you need to lose weight with new MyWW Plus. It really takes the thinking out of healthy eating.
It shows me exactly what's in the foods I'm eating.
More holistic, more personalised, more weight loss. Join now and get 50% off.
If you've been thinking about university, now's the time to get started. But enrolments close on the 21st of February. Find the right study choice for you, all in one place with Open Universities Australia. Explore online courses today.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of easy dinners with pastas like Coles brand Durham wheat spirals, penne, macaroni, and even our choice recommended Coles brand spaghetti. Down to just $1. Coles, value the Australian way.
Men over the age of 45 are at the highest risk of drowning in Victoria. Don't just know your limits. Authorised by the Victorian Government.
This Valentine's Day, spoil your special lady with an Eternity Rose. An Eternity Rose is a real rose dipped in 24-karat gold and lasts a lifetime, starting at $179 with free express shipping from eternityrose.com.au.
Dalavadova Fertilisers have been servicing Central Victorian farmers for over 40 years. Horticulture, graziers, home gardens and broadacre cropping. Staff are dedicated to finding you the best products and services, reaching your target yield. Call or email us today.
New Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Here now, for wherever next.
Catherine and I are cousins, coming from the Kimberley. I think we're going to be the deadliest team on Amazing Race.
Whereas everything I've pushed down, I've filtered through. But you're telling me not to come from the top, but that's what I want to do. Start from the top.
She puts up with a lot with me.
Anyway, stop talking.
The Amazing Race Australia. On when? The race starts 7:30 tonight.
There are claims hundreds of thousands of Australians with a disability have been disconnected from essential support as a result of COVID. With many unable to access resources during the pandemic, they're now calling for funding and fighting to access help.
Diving in, 12-year-old Len Steele's learning to swim and ride a bike. It's no easy feat for someone living with autism spectrum disorder, and it's now a lot harder following a decrease in NDIS funding.
It was a very challenging time, also with COVID, a few other issues going on as well. And when the plan arrived, it was less than what I expected.
Len's core funding was cut by 95%, funding he needs to participate in the community.
Going to the swimming pool or going down to the shop, which a child of 12 who doesn't have autism would perhaps do on their own.
According to Australian Communities, the pandemic's left hundreds of thousands of Australians with a disability disconnected from essential services, and a large portion of funds set aside for NDIS not being spent.
We experienced about a 30% underspend, so people weren't able to use a lot of their funding because they couldn't access the community.
And that's on top of other obstacles.
And it's just challenging and annoying that every year I have to prove that he needs social support.
Australian Communities is urging those with a disability to connect with their service providers.
But they're part of connecting with the community and part of that identity.
The NDIS was contacted for comment. Grace Aiken, Win News.
The education sector is bracing for the psychological impact of last year as students head back to the classroom. Experts say the pandemic has propelled the need for improved understanding and management of mental well-being, especially early intervention.
Last year's curriculum was disrupted like never before. Now, an emphasis on mental health in the classrooms front of mind as students return to school.
The stats say that every classroom has, 3 or 4 students that suffer from mental ill health, and that's increased now that students have been at home for the best part of 6 months.
Primary students were strongly affected by the lack of the formal structure.
Being at home and the disadvantages of having parents that are working was really challenging for our kids to not have that real steady routine that they normally get at school.
While gauging what affects a student's mental health is challenging, and new platforms are attempting to bridge the gap. Posamente allows the student, teachers and family to log concerns, which are then delivered to wellbeing staff.
What patterns are we seeing, whether for an individual, but even for like a year group or a whole school? What are the patterns that we're seeing in terms of wellbeing? And what can we do proactively to address some of those?
Youth mental health service Headspace experienced a 50% rise in referrals for young people admitted to hospital due to a mental health crisis.
We expect there'll be a rise in the mental health within our students at our school.
Joe Wilkie, Win News.
Central Victorian libraries are working with community groups to support young LGBTIQ+ residents. The Allied Forum program empowers the at-risk youth with new skills to share their stories through theatre and online video.
The Allied Forum project engages with young LGBTIQ+ people across Central Victoria to share their stories to the wider community.
Being LGBTIQ myself, it's quite hard when you're in the country because there's less of us and you don't necessarily have a peer group.
The program, in partnership with Bendigo Pride and Arena Theatre, focuses on those between the ages of 15 and 24. Participants tell their stories through theatre performances, online videos, short films or animations. Organisers will then use the media for discussion through a panel of experts and LGBTQI+ leaders to create a toolbox for the community on how they can better support the young minority.
To talk to the general community about how we can better become allies.
Goldfields libraries across the region will take part, but the workshops will be hosted in Bendigo over coming weeks.
That is a part of it, just creating a space where everyone's comfortable and safe and able to make friendships.
Organisers say the project will be group-led, based on the needs of participants.
The great joy of this project is it's going to be driven by whoever participates, and that's what we're looking for now. We're looking for participants, young people who are interested in telling their story.
To take part, head to the website. Bonnie Barkmeyer, Win News.
Regional conservationists will tomorrow mark 50 years of protecting some of our most iconic wetlands. The signing of the Convention on Wetlands in 1971 prevented more of the vital areas being taken over by urban expansion. To mark the occasion, we're being urged to go out and explore some of our local wetlands and appreciate their ecological importance. Time for sport with Amy Duggan and Ames. Melbourne United has certainly put on a show in Bendigo.
It sure did, Bruce. That's absolutely right. A 96-90 win over South Melbourne Phoenix was the perfect start to Melbourne United's regional tour. It was also a big weekend in the AFLW, with Natchez Eden Zanker getting her campaign off to a great start with the Melbourne Demons and a win over the Gold Coast.
A sold-out Bendigo Stadium crowd there to witness the NBL's biggest stars, and none bigger than Chris Goulding.
Goulding getting underneath and finishing off. Points count, one to come.
A close contest was promised and what was delivered, Melbourne United pulling out all stops early. United the honorary home side, but the South Melbourne Phoenix found plenty of rhythm. The lead changing hands multiple times in the first half. Jack White, a delight.
Shares it with White. Points are good.
Down by 9, the Phoenix launched a comeback in the second half thanks to Mitch Creek, but the work of big man Jock Landale continuing to keep the crosstown rival at bay before the final quarter brought some fireworks.
Up he goes and down it goes.
The Phoenix stayed in touch though as Kiefer Sykes brought it back within 3 points. United just holding on.
Illy takes care of the basketball and that takes care of the result.
Boding well for their next game at the stadium next Sunday against the Perth Wildcats. COVID border issues pending. While it was a big weekend for sport on the national stage, Natchez Eden Zanker kicking off her AFLW season in style.
Slots her 10th AFLW goal.
Zanker's Demons getting their campaign off with a 21-point win. They now face Cody Jacques in Richmond next week. Will Hogan, Win News.
A frantic finish in the main event has headlined an exciting day of harness racing at the Wedderburn Pacing Cup. It was a 3-horse race in the final stages of the Cup with a photo finish needed to split the trio.
It's a massive finish though. Oh gee, Pembroke Charlie, maybe a nose. I'm Shadow Boxers got out very late and flashed home.
In the end, New Zealand's Pembroke Charlie was deemed the winner by the finest of margins ahead of I'm Shadow Boxer and Modern Bliss. The Pioneers girls have unveiled their leadership group ahead of round 1 on Saturday. AFL Academy member Tara Slender has been appointed captain for the 2021 season after impressive work both on and off the field. She'll lead the Pioneers out against the Murray Bushrangers in Yarrawonga. The NAB League competition has changed from an under-18 to an under-19 competition after the season was cut short last year. That is it for Sport, Brucey.
Terrific, Amy. Thank you very much. And it's also lovely to have you back.
Thanks.
Let's chat some weather now with Chris Polside. And Chris, of course, today we start the last month of summer. What's the outlook like for February?
Bruce, we're on track for above average temperatures, but unlike this time last year, central Victoria can expect above average amounts of rainfall. Stay with us. Your weather details are up next.
The whole world is within Australia.
Every aspect that can be thrown at you, Australia has it.
Australia is definitely the best country on earth.
Changes we've made to help stop the spread need to continue into the future. Remember to keep making COVID-safe choices, like maintaining physical distancing, practicing good hygiene, and wearing a mask when needed. To protect others, stay at home when unwell and get tested for COVID-19. Keep the COVID-Safe app active so you can be contacted if needed. Together, let's keep going and stay safe. Find out more at health.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Badass boss with the long to-do list. I'm a badass boss with the long to-do list. I'm a badass boss with the long to-do list. So you better get on up and get right out of my way.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Don't you tell me that I'm crazy. Don't you say that I'm losing my mind. If I'm acting a little strange, it's 'cause there's something new in my life. I'm in love. It's everything I've been dreaming of. I'm in love.
Tell your love story this Valentine's Day with Pandora Jewellery.
All done, Luke?
Just a few more minutes.
All done, Luke?
Just a few more minutes.
All done, Luke?
Just a few more minutes, Mum. Wonder, full of goodness.
Jivette tetraploid annual ryegrass is a late maturing variety that is quick to establish and ideal for grazing. To order your Jivette tetraploid annual ryegrass, contact your local rural store today.
Finding the right home can be tricky, which is where we come in. We'll help you find somewhere that feels like home. CR Martin Real Estate. Make specialised heating and cooling your first choice this summer. Visit our showroom for a cooling solution to fit your home and budget, or we'll come to you for sales and pre-season servicing. Specialised heating and cooling, local people, local service, competitive price.
At Central Kitchens, we believe clever design shouldn't just look great, it should function great too. Clever design can reveal extra space for extra flexibility. Look at your space and create more with Central Kitchens.
Whether it's coffee at your local, soccer training with the kids, or a little getaway, we understand what matters to you. At GMCU, we're continuing to support our local community. We're open for you. GMCU.
Wouldn't it be easy if we all had wings?
United Airport Parking is Melbourne Airport Parking made easy. Call today for a quote or book online. United Airport Parking, helping you take flight.
Melbourne Opera proudly presents Wagner's epic opera, Das Rheingold, part 1 of the Ring cycle, Sunday, February 21 at Alhambra Theatre, Bendigo. Don't miss Melbourne Opera's full cast and orchestra, one of the largest professional operas to ever appear in Bendigo, performing Wagner's masterpiece. Enjoy an unforgettable evening with Melbourne Opera in Bendigo. Das Rheingold, Sunday, February 21 at Alhambra Theatre. Book now at gotix.com.au.
When Australia's hottest young chefs travel to the best foodie destinations.
So much good produce around here.
It's a recipe for the perfect road trip.
We're eating lobby tonight.
Join Andy from MasterChef and his best mates, Darren and Mark. 3 Blue Ducks is coming to Saturdays on Win.
Welcome back. It was a partly cloudy start to the working week. Maximums falling between 3 and 7 degrees below the monthly average. Tonight's weather photo is from Wendy, and Wendy snapped a cloudy sky over Kennington and lovely soft pastel colours changing shades through the sky. I love your work there, Wendy. Thank you very much. If you have a weather photo and you'd like to see it on our screen, go ahead and send it in. The address is weather@wintv.com.au. But it's time to check some details from today. It was a muggy day for the region. 13 waking up in Bendigo, climbing 10 higher by 2:30 this afternoon. A humid start for Echuca, sitting above 80% there up until about 10 a.m, only easing slightly as a breeze picked up during the afternoon. And 30 was the top for Swan Hill, but the apparent temperature felt about 4 degrees cooler than the mercury showed. On the satellite, a low pressure trough over eastern parts of the state will move into the Tasman Sea tonight. Onto the synoptic chart. A high in the Bight will extend to the south tomorrow, maintaining relatively stable conditions across the state. To the forecast for Central Vic, looking mostly sunny tomorrow. A high fire danger has been issued because winds will be a little bit breezy at times. For Kyneton, 9 to 18 degrees, 26 with sunshine over for Shepparton. At Hopeton, a start of 12 and 28 will be the top, and 27 degrees for Kerrang, Swan Hill and Balranald. For Bendigo tomorrow, just a few clouds, about a start of 11, 23 is the max, and a little bit cooler for Melbourne, 19 degrees. Now, in the days ahead, Wednesday will be nice and sunny. Winds will be breezy in the morning. Thursday is looking like a mostly sunny start before a chance of showers and storms by the afternoon. And then on Friday, cloudy and humid. There's a very high chance of showers and heavy falls are possible. But that's all for weather this evening. Bruce, it's back over to you.
Great, Chris. Thank you very much for that. And thank you for your company this Monday, Feb 1. That's how we saw your news across Central Victoria. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 6.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.